everybody. We've got her centered up back at it. You can see this insert's about bought it. We're running a pretty high surface speed here, but I had some hard spots out near the edge yet that I really didn't want to put a new insert in and cook it. So I think as soon as we get done with this pass, we're going to flip this insert. So you definitely shouldn't be throwing fire cutting iron. Hard spots in iron will really get you. So right here, you can see that little spot. I can hear it every time I go past it. It's a chunk, chunk, chunk as it crosses that. Anyway, hopefully we'll get through it soon. It's going to be a bummer if that ends up near my finished surface. Everything else is looking great. It's just that one spot. I don't know if it's piece of something embedded in the surface or what it is, but anyway, all right, well, I will swap my insert around and we'll go back in. New insert, slowed it down in and taking a deeper cut. I'm hoping we can get under the hard spot in this pass, because what really wipes out your insert is if you keep skimming along the surface of a hard spot. I think we did, because I never even heard it this time. Before, I'd always hear a chick, chick, chick as I was going past that spot. All right, that is looking nice. We completely have got past all of any irregularities or hard spots at this point. And you can see just nice, fine-grained ductile iron here, cutting like a dream. So I'm very happy with this. Like, fantastic finish. This is definitely getting us to what we want to see for our application for a sleeve. I've got a fair amount to remove from the inside yet, but we're going to leave that. I'm not taking any more out of the inside. I'm just going to take the OD to dimension, dump it in liquid nitrogen, drop it in there, and like I mentioned yesterday, I'm doing it all on the boring mill. I'm leaving it here. Digital readouts are zeroed out. Just strictly ran it down the bed away so I can work in here. Get that slapped in there and then run it right back up and use the same boring head to take it to finished dimension. So anyway, we're just strictly going to get the OD to dimension and then part this off. And I'm going to leave it a little bit long too. My intention is to use probably, just a high-speed tool steel to just come up and cut the face back flush with the original face. There's finished pass. 5 on a side. Right now it is measuring, let's see here, 15.190. My target was 15.189. I'm not quite sure why, but it didn't take quite as heavy of a cut with that lighter pass. I mean, sometimes weird things happen. I am not going to try and skim half a thou on a side off this thing. The finish on it is so nice that I'm not messing with it. With the amount of press fit that we're putting on this thing, a thou is not going to make or break me. I've already got it intended to be, I said I was shooting for 7 thousandths of clearance going in. Technically, this would give me 6, except that I was being conservative with my shrink numbers. I'm probably actually going to be closer to 7 or 8 even at that. So at any rate, we're going to stop here. I'm very happy with how it looks at the moment. So we're going to go to work at putting that 1/8" radius on this edge now. The radius being held, and we are going to start working this by hand, just freehanding it and then file. What I really want here is to make this radius slightly bigger than an 1/8" radius, because then I know it won't crash into that radius in the corner. And it's okay if I've got a little bit of a gap behind the radius itself. So we're going to have at her. Taking 3.5 thousandths per revolution and turning 29 RPM. not as hot as I thought it would be. Look at that. One ductile iron ring. Alright. Get in here and keep rotating it, 'cause I just straight up don't have anything that's big enough around here to hold this thing that's even remotely insulated. So we're just going to have to go with this. Put your glasses on. My intention is to sit here, rotating the ring. Obviously, I'll never attain maximum refrigeration level this way, but I think we can get enough of it. Right now, the boiling is actually slowing down already. Pretty wild stuff. Very interesting. Yeah, it pretty well chilled her. Okay, now what we got to do is time to get ourselves a nice little layer of this juice in here. Sleeve retaining compound. Alright. Time to give this thing another little jostle through the juice, and then have a go at dumping her in there. Would you look at that? She's seated all the way in here. Oh yeah, I'm starting to see the, there, she's thawing the frost off from her, so she's growing fast. Now I'm going to quick pour the rest of this juice back in the jug if I can, because I am hopeful that we can do 2 of these before my liquid nitrogen runs out. Alright. We get some good dimensions here. Can't go straight up and down because right in here is where this pore is pouring up at. What do we got here? 14.963. I guess I did write it down. Here's that same number. I just failed to write next to it what that number was. Alright, well, let's go back to the other end and see what we can accomplish. Alright, let's see here. We got 230 thou to go, so we're going to say there is 5, 15, there's 25. Let's buzz through there with that and see where we're at once. Quick, come down here and hit my oil pump again. I hit that this morning, but it's been a while now. More oil the merrier on these old machines. You know what? We're going to quick crank this up by hand. I don't dare wrap it up too close to the parts. The shadows in here making it really hard to tell when I'm reaching the part. So crank it up by hand here. There we go. I just heard her touch off. Thing of beauty. So by the way, I do not own this beautiful Mediterranean caliper. Actually, a friend of mine generously loaned it to me because I did not have big enough measuring stuff to measure the OD of those rings. I had ordered a micrometer and it didn't show up in time. So anyway, this is really helping out. It's actually the same guy that used to run this machine about 30 years ago. So we're back to taking 20 thousandths on a side. On that last pass, I set my Z-axis readout to 0 so that I can see when I'm getting up close, kick the power feed out, and then feed it on up to that shoulder by hand. So we're just settled in here to do some cutting now and take this thing to finished dimension. Well, this, per my math, is 2 thousandths underside, is this pass. I theoretically had 5 to go, and I'm taking 3, so 1 thou and a half on a side is what I set it for. We're going to see what it measures. So we hit exactly the number that my calculations said I would, so I'm 2 thousandths under what a factory bore is on these. And I'm suspecting from the looks of this, I don't know, maybe they just did a real fine feed rate. Yeah, that is a cut surface. I was trying to decide if it was cut or if it was ground, but it is a cut finish, just really, really light feed rate. So maybe what I'll do is back my feed rate down and then go ahead and take a 1 thou skim cut in here. I decided to take 1 more thousandths out, which in theory will leave me... I got down to brass tacks, found a spot in that bore that was perfect, and I was about 1 thou and a half under. So I'm taking it 1 more thou. It's the nice thing about like these easy sets with this micro adjust on them. You really hit some fine numbers. But anyways, and then I kicked my feed rate from 8 thousandths per revolution down to 5 thousandths per, or no, sorry, I went from 5 down to 3 thousandths per revolution. So we're just crawling through here, skimming 1/2 thou on a side, going for maximum surface finish, and then we'll back her out of here and see what we got. Alright, so we are exactly 1/2 thousandths smaller than factory, but I don't know if there could very well be a little bit of wear on there. But anyway, I'm going to take some real fine emery, and I'm going to hand polish this when it's all said and done. You can feel a distinct difference after you do that. But for now, I am concentrating on pulling this Valinite easy set out and going back to my high-speed tool steel tooling to cut this face back and then put the chamfer on the edge. A little bit of chatter to that. Pretty healthy cut. Alright, back away from her. See, I just started to touch the old face there. Like I say, a little bit chattery, but nothing terrible. Pretty good. I think now we just got to create that lead. So I just took this and walked back and forth grinding on it until when I stand it on the factory chamfer, it is 90 degrees to the bore. I'm not getting a square out or something. I'm eyeballing it, but this is literally just a lead edge for the O-ring to slip in. You can see they weren't too concerned about it from all the chatter that's in it, which incidentally I think we're about to recreate some more of that chatter. But anyhow, I'm about to stick this in here and get the depth set so that we just plunge in here and try cutting that. Hopefully we can do it before the chatter gets too outrageous. Alright, we're going to try 20 RPM. What I want to do here is I want to bump it up around, and then I want to extend. I can't do it with this in my hand, but I want to extend the quill and lock it where it touches so that I can measure how far I'm cutting that depth. Alright, we just made contact. There's the chatter. We've got 100 thou to go on depth. Golly, don't look any worse than the one they did. They being the factory. I mean, you see, factory one nicely chattered, mine nicely chattered. Say, I would have completely expected that. Even if theirs hadn't looked like that, I would have anticipated mine coming out like that. So, all right. Well, now they did it all in one motion, but they've got a radius on the edge of theirs. I think I'm going to go round myself up a cutter, see if I can find one that's already formed, but if I can't, make one, and come up there and touch that edge with a radius cutter now. Round's hard to see here, but a crude little radius cutter onto that. And now we are going to zoom back up here. Alright, now, time for some hand cranking again. Ease her up here and see about throwing a little radius on that. Hopefully I've got enough relief on my tool. Here she's cutting. Tool sounds pretty good. Looks about like what was in there, so check her out. Now look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. I've got a little more radius on than the original had, but I don't hurt anything because nothing beyond where that chamfer stops touches it all anyways, so it'll just make it slide in that much easier. Yeah, she is ready for a little hand polish job, and this end is completely done. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's been a while. Trying to get this thing into neutral once. Alright, fire it up. Run down this way. Alright, well, I'll do a little polishing in there and then we'll call her quit. We'll start off out here on the edge where the chatter marks are, so that I intentionally knock the sharpest part of the grit off out here on something that I don't care a lot about. And I'm applying very, very light pressure here. In it, and I might get some of those, or I might even have some, but try and get some of those and just run around here because I want this really, really polished up smooth. Point being, I don't want it to, be rough on the new seals when they go in. So anyway, though, I think for now we are good enough, and we will tear this sucker off and flip it around. But I think that's a job for tomorrow. So I think, guys, unless you all object strongly, we'll see what you say in the comments. I think I won't bother videoing any more of this just because the other end is this all over again. You've seen some of that end get done, with prepping rings and stuff. But basically, we're going to flip it around and do the same exact thing all over again. So anyway, I think that'll be it for this Volvo axle, and we'll bring you back when we got something else worth showing. So you guys have a good night. We'll catch you next time.